Hello, and welcome back to Arcanum, Steamwork and Magic Obscura. We find ourselves back in Tarant and actually a little bit back in time from our last episode. We're back to before we first accept the whole business in the boil and the negotiation and such. For I realized later, I have, yes, going all the way to 42 and with the negotiation and everything, I have not been using my means, as it were, to level up as most efficiently as possible. We have been wasting character points, for there are better ways to upgrade our stats, such as charisma and such. And for that, we are going to have to tackle a very interesting quest, which we will be picking up now, right here. It's not really a quest, as it were, in the traditional sense, but a mystery we can solve. And for that we need to speak with, I believe it is this fellow right here.
Get on with it, Ogor. I do not have all day.
Oh, sir, we only just met. Where's your manners and stuff?
I am so very sorry, but you're having a most unpleasant effect on my general disposition, sir. Please, I'd rather you just left me alone.
Look, sir, there's something we can do about you, and I don't care about your vibes and stuff.
Well, I suppose I might be able to look past your glaring faults for now. Now, what can I do what kind of do you need exactly, sir?
Well, might I ask who you are to start with?
I am Professor Aldous Buxington.
You're certainly buxom.
If you could keep continuing that, I will murder you. And in the traditional elven way of murder, which is horrifyingly painful.
Okay.
And I am head of the religion department here at Tarant University. You are?
I'm Ogor. Might I ask you some questions?
Certainly.
Tell me, what do you do here besides being all smarty pants?
Me? Oh, I've been here at Tarant University for many years. Mostly I teach classes, but I still do a fair bit of research when I can find the time.
And what sort of research you doing then?
Well, currently, I am studying the older, pagan religions of Arcanum. As I'm sure you're aware, the Panari have been the favored religion in Arcanum for the last 1500 years. But in years before the Age of Legends, there were many religions and many gods. Each of the races had a certain gods that they prayed to, and those gods are what we have been studying.
Oh, that's interesting. Who won the whole races then? Oh, you mean species, okay. Could you tell me more question about pagan gods?
Of course.
Are there any pagan temples on the log?
Yes, there are still individuals who worship them as well. Both the Order of Halcyon, and the Cult of Gestiana are examples.
Oh yeah, I really like the Cult of Gestiana. I like make lots of section stuff there.
I am sure you did. Most of the ancient pagan temples are in ruin now, but you can still find them scattered throughout Arcanum, and some still have altars intact.
Some more questions about the pagan religions?
Of course.
Do you believe in any of these pagan gods, Professor?
He gives you a shrewd glance. Do I believe in them? That's an interesting question. I've studied almost everything there is to know about the pagan gods. I've visited some of the temples, even made an offering or two. All I will say is this. I've seen enough to know that these ancient beliefs are not to be trifled with. Tread lightly among the old gods, friend.
Okay, some more questions about old gods and stuff.
Of course.
Tell me about the pagan gods.
There were 12 pagan gods in all, 8 lesser gods, 1 for each of the 8 races, 3 greater gods, and the All-Father. Offerings were made to the gods in hopes of getting their blessing. and each god demanded a different offering. I've done quite a bit of research on them, and I wrote a book about them. Would you like a copy?
Sure.
Here you go. Free books.
Yeah, nice toilet paper.
What?
Never mind. Is there anything else?
Oh, is there anything else I can help you with?
Some question about pagan gods too. What's that thing here on the wall?
That is a poster. Oh yes, it's also a diagram. We call it the Mazarin Mystery.
Who's Mazarin?
Mazarin was an elven mystic who did his share of research into the old religions. About 3,000 years ago, he wrote a book of the 12 powers, which is a fairly cryptic analysis of the pagan religions. According to Mazarin, there was some sort of deeper connection between all of them.
What do you mean a deeper connection? Did they have sex or something?
Well, yes, some of them, yes, never mind. Mazarin believed that gods and their powers were somehow interwoven. This diagram is supposed to explain how they are related. Certain gods don't get along with other gods. So and so begat so and so, yada yada. Get blessed by this fellow and the other fellow curses you, that sort of thing.
Oh, I see. And can you explain the diagram to me?
There is an excerpt from the Book of 12 Powers that might help you explain what it all means, but no one has been able to solve the Mazarin mystery. That excerpt of the book I wrote.
Okay, good day then.
Now it's important we look at this schedule. So this is actually so these outer circles are the symbols of the greater gods. The inner circles are actually the symbols of the lesser gods. And as you see, they all kind of connect in worshipping thing with circles. These are actually going from inside to outside is actually the order in which you should offer offerings to the gods, else they will get upset. And there are various circles that you follow, as you can see. For example, this one connected to the outer thing goes from this hand thing to this fellow, to the lizard, to the angry dwarven looking fellow. And for this one it is first the praying lady, then the bearded fellow, then the lizard again, and then the tree. And similarly for the moon it is the shouty fellow, maimed hand, little fellow, the little fellow, and the ram thing. Now these are all the symbols of the lesser gods. If you read up on the book, let us do that right now. Pagan Gods of Arcanum by Aledius T. Buxington III. The third even, wow. The following is a brief description of the pagan religious figures of Arcanum. Most, with a few exceptions, have been forgotten and lost to antiquity. It is the author's experience that the old gods do indeed have power, and are not all to be disavowed. The lesser gods. Lesser gods for every race in Arcanum. I've classified them in three categories: the noble, the lesser, and the neutral lesser gods. The noble lesser gods, the neutral lesser gods, and the darker lesser gods. Noble lesser gods. Terrell, the elven god of wisdom. Before the ancient existentialism, mystics worship natural deities. Most powerful of the deities is Terrell, god of the tree. So that is the tree symbol. You can go about it and what he offers in the offering, but we'll skip past that. Gessiana, human goddess of love. Gessiana is a central figure of the human paganism for so long, the history that has been recorded. Human mythology claims Gessiana was once a mortal woman who was so beautiful that she made it into the gods by the moon and the sun. Humans believe Gessiana would smile upon them. Yeah, she is the woman that you see in the circle. Alberich, stone god of the dwarves. Ancient god Alberich weighs heavily with dwarven lore. Yeah, he is basically the bearded fellow that you see in the schedule. Then McCall, Bedokan, god of the hunt. Very is known about the lizard-like Bedokan. We have not met a Bedokan yet, but we will.
The following is an excerpt from Faunal Speech of the Dark Fence by Gnomish Fencer. Yeah, we'll get a whole description. But he is the Snake Father, so he is that lizard thing that you saw in the offering. Then we have Bolo, the one-armed Bolo, halfling god of thieves. Most important, the one-armed god of thieves. Bolo is known for all his cunning ways. Yeah, so Bolo's symbol is the hands that you saw. That's because basically he's the one-armed god. Then we have Curlin, the golden god of the gnomes. His description. One will never find a golden statuette of a likeness of Curlin, the golden god of gnomes. Curlin is the oldest known pantheon of all the gods, sprung directly from his palms. Curlin wants a coin. Yeah, Curlin is actually the kind of like shiny bearded fellow you saw on the schematic, on the thing on the wall. Shakar, orcish god of war. Shakar, orcish god of war, was a frightening figure with the head of a ram. So he is the ram's head picture that we saw on the schedule. And yeah, he is a ferocious orc type of war, also worshipped by the barbarians of Kree. Here is an altar to the god still exists in the ruins of Kree. So that's a very easy direction. It actually says where you can find the altar. Though honestly, a lot of these kind of make sense when you think about them. They're not... Only the gnomish one is actually quite tricky to find. That's what we will find on later. Then we have Torque, god of the Ogor heart. Tells that God was the father of many children, and long ago that there were many gods to rule over the ogreish people. As time passed, Torque saw that his children had forgotten what it meant to be ogreish and slew them all. From the bodies of his children he pulled their still beating hearts and ate them, bringing them into himself as part of him. Yeah, that's basically the symbol of the god with the big open mouth thing. And then we have Halcyon. They don't have really clear symbols, but yeah, they are the outer planets on the schedule. And Valorian is actually not mentioned. We'll get into Valorian later. We won't be handling Valorian for a while, so you can forget about that. So, with this schedule, we need to bring offerings into the orders as their worship. And specifically, you need to complete one circle before you go and complete another circle. So we might need to make a few offerings to specifically these three gods several times. So from this, we will begin with the inner circle. We have to take them in reverse, because as you see, there's not really an end point here. It doesn't actually circle around. It ends here and then ends with the greater god, and you need to work towards the greater god. So, from this, we begin with Alberich, god of the dwarves. So for that, we need to go to the Wheel Clan, which we will do right now.
Alright, so we're back at the Wheel Clan, and here we go. Here we found the altar of Alberich. Do you know of Dwarven Stone? Is there anything so true? Not words nor ways of magic, not sun nor trees, nor sky of blue. O Alberich, great of the stone, the world lays on your spine. We who live within your heart seek now to know your mind. We bring to you the pit of rock that once burned in your veins, and now we ask the stone for stone and strength until the end of days. Yeah, that's a little riddle to bring him lava stone, because that once lava burned in his veins, and now it's stone, so it's appropriate. So that begins the first offering. And we have received the blessing of Alberich, which gives us, let's see, blessings. Yes. Because you've made an offering to Alberich, you've received his blessing, which increases our strength a bit. Now that's just the first circle. On to the next one, which will be a little bit more tricky to find.
So looking back again at that chart that we are following, we've got Alberich right here. And if we follow this dotted line here, next up should be the Bedoken, god of the hunt. And this would be then Curlin, god of the gnomes. Now, both of these are actually fairly far away. Especially the gnomish god one. We kind of will have to stumble upon that by luck and foreknowledge. Because it's not very clearly defined. However, if we look at the map... No, where's the world map? It's... yeah, on this map you don't see it too clearly. But as you see, we already have like a location of a small village of Reptilian creatures located in the north end. That's the Bedoken. So that is where we will be going next. It is actually where that elven hunter sent us to look for his hunters. We will do that in due time. First we gotta get the god's power and everything. So onwards towards the dark fens and all that, yes. And after a little journey through the glimmering forest, we arrive in this swampy area with lizard folk who seem to be not so much upset at us. And oh look, there are some elven elves here, so that explains the whole hunters disappearing thing. I suppose we should be trying to have a chat with these fellows while we're at it.
You must speak with Kankarai.
Okay, I'm guessing this big one is Kankarai.
Greetings, Swanblood. I am Warroman.
Warroman, gotta catch them all! Farewell. We don't want to talk with Warroman right now. Oh, but is this the altar? It is! That's the altar we're looking for. Call not to the Snake Father. Unless you dream on the cold-blooded dream, call only to the Snake Father when you hear their voices of old. Makal seeks the Hearthstone. He runs with you, he hunts with you. Give Makal his Hearthstone, and swift as Makal you will be. Well, that is a very clear request for an offering. Now, Hearthstones we have not found too often, but I believe they should be found around here somewhere. So we will get back to you once I've found where the Hearthstones are, because they should be here somewhere. And here it was, because I think Gar just picked it up, but there was a Hearthstone here.
Yes, sir.
Which I'm guessing, yes, Garth now has in his inventory. Give that to me, Gar. And we'll need more than just one Hearthstone, but we can immediately just throw this Hearthstone into the offering, so we can at least have the blessing of Makal, the Snake Father. Here you go, Makal. Hearthstone for you. And we've received the blessing of Makal. That does replace the old blessing, but it should follow along. This gives us +1 dexterity, which is not too bad, but not too great. But yeah, so I'll just find the rest of the Hearthstones, and yeah, maybe we talk with the chieftain real quick before we find the gnomish altar, which will just be a search through this area, because that does not have a clear map marker that reveals it to us. We just have to find it when we wander around, and it's actually in that area. But I think we will be finding it when we wander around, because I kind of know where it is. So we will skip to when we talk to the chieftain. Yes. Must be this blue fellow here then. The creature before you is covered with scales, with a large mouth full of sharp teeth, and eyes of the coldest silver. Various tattoos cover much of its body.
Warmblood betrayer! Offspring murderer! What brings you here? What death do you bring? What lies with you to tell? Kankarai stands before you. My power is greater than yours.
I'm sorry, have we met before? You don't call me Ogre, so I guess not.
I I know you, betrayer. I know all your faces, warm blood, all the same, all liars and murderers, all bringers of death.
Well, I don't think you know who I am. It's a little presumptuous for you to say so.
Canterai senses your anger. Perhaps you wish to set yourself against me, Warmblood?
No. Maybe you should tell me what's going on instead.
You know, Warmblood. Pits lined with teeth of metal, nets and nets to catch the women. Your weapons of flash of pain. And hunt well the children of the old, but Kankarai is no easy target. Face me, Warmblood.
What does all that have to do with the elves being held here?
You mean Sharp Ear? Pale Warmblood? We captured him sneaking into our swamps, planning more death with his weapons and his strange ways. But Kankarai fell upon him, and my ways were greater than his. And I brought him back here, tied like the fruit of the hunt.
Look, have you had, did the Sharp Ear attack you at all?
No, but they did come to the dark fence with weapons and powerful words. Why they come here? They have their trees in their forest. And why do they come to our swamp? Always it has been the ways of the Warmbloods, always wanting more, always bringing ruin.
The elves, and they brought ruin. It looks like the elves usually don't build things very good. They just kind of roll away because of trees and stuff.
He stops for a moment, considering.
No, Sharp Ears have not killed Bedoken before. Nor have they ruined the land, but they are not easy prey, Warmblood. A hunter in a different skin is still a hunter, and Kankarai goes not quietly he.
Look, hold on a moment. Neither elves nor I have done you any harm or tried to fight you at all.
Yes, the words you speak are true, Warmblood, but
His hand to his sword.
that does not mean that you will not.
Yeah, I agreed, but I'm called Ogor.
He inclines his head stiffly.
And I am Kankarai, chieftain of the Bedokin. And what brings you to our village, Warmblood? Have you come to defense of this elf?
Yeah, I believe you're not imprisoning him I believe you're imprisoning him wrongly. It's not like a really good prison, like a dumb pit.
What you know of their ways? You assume that elves are innocent and Bedokin evil. I know this, Warmblood. Still think like you. They fear the cold blood ways. They see us as beasts, devoid of love and reason.
I'm tired of this! There will be war between us! No.
Please forgive me, I meant no offense. What has happened here?
You said you hear our story? Very well. As I said, the Bedokin have lived in the dark fence for long as the seasons have turned, and all that time we have kept to ourselves. We knew of the elves, but they harmed us not, and we accepted their natural place.
What happened then? You said your people were hunted now?
Yes, 4 winters ago, Warmblood came to our swamp, set out things of death and shot us with their weapons, collected our bodies of the dead.
Always Warmbloods. You said they were not elves.
They were not elves, but they're a little dark and not as tall. Little darker, not as tall. They had no words of power, but they had strange weapons, and they rode strange beasts made of wood.
Strange beasts made of wood. That's curious. Maybe he means carts? Yeah, oh yeah, men in wagons.
So they're men in wagons and stuff, right? Not fancy iron things, so you're lucky there. Where they come from?
From south. They came from the south. Over the mountains into the dark fens. The land cries out whenever they touch it. They know not the ways of the land, and the cold blood ways, nor do they care.
What did you say these men did with the bodies of your people?
Kankansarai is silent for a moment. You can see anger seething in his silver eyes.
They skinned them, Ogor. They skinned our elders and our children and our women. They threw their remains into the swamp. No rites of passage. No guide to the Snake Father.
Yes, I know. I heard broken hearts make excellent luggage.
No, that's not what you say. Let's be all sympathetic and stuff.
Oh, they're poachers. I'm real sorry. They make terrible eggs too.
I believe your words, Ogor. Perhaps you are different. Perhaps you might be able to see the cold vision. I will regret having to make war on all warmbloods, if there even is one like you among them. But I will do so nonetheless.
Look, you can't I wouldn't recommend it. I think that when they bring tanks you lose.
He takes a half step closer, his hands wavering above his sword.
I suppose it will come to that time, Ogre. Is it better that we face each other now? I will fight you here in honor, according to cold blood ways.
Now, you need to listen to me that this whole thing is stupid.
How, Ogor? I respect your words and I see the truth in them, but how can you deny the evil of that has been done to my people? Do you disagree that the price must be paid?
No, but all must have paid the price. Let's talk about the elf war.
Yes, you speak of this. The snake and the lizards are both of the Snake Father, and both live the reptilian dream. Men and elves are also of the warm blood, and therefore live by the same code.
No, elves are like real different. They're like kind of loopy and stuff. They're very different from me, Ogor.
What do you mean? Are they not smooth-skinned like men and hunt with weapons and wear clothes and speak fancy words? They seem like they are the very same.
Oh, really? Like, elf lives in trees and not in buildings of stone and wood and like...
These are small things, small differences. I speak of hearts and minds. The dreams of the warmbloods is their elves are the same as men in their hearts, in their words.
No, as you said, elves have words of power and those men do not.
Yes.
You see that Kankarai is a little confused.
We also have these words, Ogor. These words are of old powers, tied to the water and the land. I see that elves have this power, yet they are warm blood.
Yeah, because they too are like tied to the land and stuff. At least that's what they say, even though they're like living high up in a tree.
I see.
Kankarai inclines his head to you.
There is power in your words as well, Ogor. Perhaps you are correct about these elves. But what of men? Why shouldn't Kansarai wage war against them?
Tell me of your cold blood. What is it like then?
We beat of one heart, Ogor. We share the same knowledge, the same desire, and look into my eyes, and you look into the very eyes of the Snake Father. Do you understand? We are many, but we are one.
Yeah, men are not the same. We all have like different hearts and stuff. Sadly, some people have more like less of hearts and more like assholes.
Ah, you say Warmblood is alone, beat alone. I can see why elves might be good and men might be evil. But how are some men good and others evil? Is blood that flows in your vein not the same blood? But do you not dream the same dream?
Now that's a real important difference. Men's hearts make their dreams. It's like different.
Kankarai ponders this for a moment.
Interesting, Ogor. So these poachers, as you call them, they dream an evil dream. And so they kill our people. But how am I to know that most men are not like them? That you are alone in your dream?
If that were so, would they let one like me survive?
No, nature's a harsh teacher. Even among the Bedokin, if there's one who does not hear the Snake Father, or sees the cold vision, then they are cast out or destroyed. I would think that it was the same amongst the Warmbloods.
Well, a little bit like that. But some men are even, some men are good.
Perhaps then it is that only these poachers that Kankarai must make war against. If most men are like you, Ogor, then perhaps the Warmblood ways are good ways. Thank you for showing me this. I am grateful.
And yes, will you let him go free?
Yes, he is free to return to his home. Perhaps make sure that he speaks with him before you leave and tell him he may leave. I will make amends myself and send the gifts to the elves of the forest. You will make peace between us, Ogor.
Oh, I'm glad that happened. This peace is nice.
Tell me, Ogor, why have you come to these strange lands? You are not of the forest elves, nor are you of the dark fence. What brings you to us?
Well, it's a real long tale with like a lot of stuff. I'll just summarize because we're really at the end of the episode here.
I know not many of these things outside the dark fence, but the Bedokin are warriors, and we love the land as no other. I offer the strength of my people if you desire it. If a village there is one named Waramon, speak with him, and if he so desires, you may take him on your quest. He is brave and knows the words of power.
Oh, we'll speak with him maybe. Good day.
Yeah, so we can get a companion. This Waramon probably won't take him along. He is a bit tricksy, but and doesn't have voice lines. So I want to. Ah, okay. Normally you actually have to, kill the poachers for Kankarai, but I guess we were clever enough with our words that we don't have to do that for him. Hurrah! We can be lazy. Hello, Elfman. You can leave. I thank you, stranger. I'm going back to Quintara. I recommend you do the same.
I just might do that, but I'm going to wander around because I've got some plans here.
Yes, we do have plans here. Otherwise, there's not.
What is it that you want of me?
No, Virgil, you're not interesting. There's not too much going on with Bedokin. They stick to themselves. They don't like talking with them. But yeah, next time, I guess, next set of the gods we'll handle next time. See you then. Bye bye.